I am Maria Garcia de Flori. Rosalia Sinibaldi was born in Sicily, Italy, around the year 1130. She belonged to a noble family from Normandy, a descendant of Charles Magno. They wanted to marry her to Balduino, one of the most faithful gentlemen of the court, but on the eve of the wedding, Rosalia saw the face of Jesus in the mirror, and she made the decision to cut her braids and told her family that she was going to dedicate herself completely to God. She left the palace and went to the monastery of the Holy Savior in Palermo, where a community of sisters lived who inspired by the rule of Saint Basil. Due to the constant visits of her parents and Balduino, who were not resigned to having lost her, Rosalia escaped from the monastery and went to a cave near St. Stefano Quisquina on her father's land, where she lived for 12 years as a hermit. In another cave, that of Monte Pellegrino in Palermo, Rosalia had taken refuge at the invitation of Queen Margaret of Navarra, and it was there where she died around the year 1156. In years later, in 1624, a terrible epidemic of the Black Plague broke out in Palermo, brought out to the island by a Tunisian brig laden with plague victims. The Bishop of Palermo tried by all means to bring help and comfort to the people of the island, but seemed powerless in the face of the calamity, until Saint Rosalia appeared near the cave of Monte Pellegrino. The first to see her was Girolama Lagatuta, an embroiderer from Cimina, a municipality in the metropolitan area of Palermo, who was sick with a malignant fever at the hospital of Palermo. One day, the sick woman saw a woman dressed in white, followed by a trail of lightning. She touched her and miraculously healed. The woman was Saint Rosalia, who asked this Girolama to go to Mount Pellegrino, where in the meantime a stone altar dedicated to her had been erected. But Girolama did not do so and became ill again. In the end, she went up to the cave on the day of Pentecost with her husband Benedetto Lagatuta and two other friends. Here she drank the clear water that flowed from the rocky walls of the cave and miraculously recovered. Girolama returned to see the saint who revealed to her where her mortal remains were. They went to tell the bishop, and the remains of the saint were recovered under a large slab of marble. The bones were very white, embedded in calcarenits, and gave an intense flowery smell. They were taken to the archbishop's palace for examination. On June 9, 1625, the procession took place as requested by Saint Rosalia, with the Archbishop of Palermo at the head, followed by all the clergy and political figures of the city. The epidemic stopped and people began to heal. Therefore, Saint Rosalia can rightly be considered one of the saints to be invoked in case of epidemics and diseases, sure that she will intercede for us again in front of God, because with God we always win.